Hello viewers, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. This is MD Saiful Islam and assistant teacher of College High School, Rani Nagonogan. And you are most welcome in my Saiful English Academy again. My dear learners, hope that you are very fine and you are connected with me to watch my new video classes. My dear learners, those students who are very weak in English, who think English as a hard subject still today, who can't pronounce any words accurately, who can do spelling any words accurately, who can convert a narration from direct to indirect, who can change narration voice from active to passive, who are unable to form a check question, who are unable to select various kinds of parts of it, various kinds of sentence, various kinds of syllable, and after all, those students who can't learn English in our renowned coaching center for their financial problem. My dear learners, only for them, I want to dedicate my video classes so that they can remove all the weakness about English and can be featured for new generation. With this view, various kinds of my video classes have been uploaded in my YouTube channels. So, my dear learners, with the reference of my previous classes, today's class I have been present in front of you with our new advertisement, our new class named voice of compound sentence, voice of compound sentence. So, my dear learners, no later take a look at the board and try to understand whatever the things I want to make you understand. And no later, let's get started quickly. Okay, my dear learners, but before today's class, I want to ask some question. Okay, my dear learners, my first question is that, my dear learners, words confound sentence. My first question to you, my dear learners, what's a compound sentence? What's a compound sentence? I know that, my dear learners, you will be able to read my question, but I want to add something in the midst of your answer. Okay, my dear learners. So, my dear learners, take a look at the board and try to understand what's the definition of a compound sentence is. We can write down the definition of a compound sentence in this way that Medellin. So take a look at the board and try to understand. A compound sentence is the sentence which contains double friend say for clauses 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 giant 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 together by various how or the nature how or the nature conjunction like and so but or as oil as either judge or neither judge nor etc. Okay, my dear learners, hope that you have understood clearly. We can say what's a compound sentence. We can say the definition of a compound sentence is that, my dear learners, take a look at the board and try to understand and try to note in your cartels. A compound sentence is the sentence which contains double principal clauses. causes, joined, together, together, by various, coordinating, coordinating, conjunction, like, and so, but, or, as well as, either the or, neither the nor, etc. Okay, my dear learners, hope that you have understood clearly. Now, my second question to you that, my dear learners, how many ways we can select a compound sentence? I know that, my dear learners, you will be able to reply my question, but I want to add some thing here, my dear learners. We can select compound sentence in this way. So write down the selection order of a compound sentence. Selection order of a compound sentence. Sentence. One, two, three, four, five, six. Any kinds of statement mixed with and finally ended with the notes of full stop. Any kinds of statement mixed with the and finally ended with the notes of full stop. Okay, my dear learners. Next, number two. Any kinds of statement mixed with and so and finally ended with the notes of full stop. Any kinds of statement mixed with and so and finally ended with the notes of full stop. Number three. Any kinds of statement mixed with and finally ended with the notes of full stop. Next, any kinds of statement mixed with or finally ended with the notes of full stop. Any kinds of statement mixed with as, oil, as, and finally ended with the notes of full stop. Any kinds of statement mixed with either the draw either daughter or finally ended with the notes of full stop. Any kinds of statement mixed with neither daughter nor and finally ended with the full stop. Okay, my dear learners, at least we can select a compound sentence in this area. In this area, number one, any kinds of statement mixed with and so but, or, as well as, either the door, neither the no, no. So, my dear learners, I want to suggest to you try to memorize and try to save in your memory. Okay, my dear learners, hope that you have understood clearly. Okay, my dear learners, but today's class, I am going to teach you various kinds of rules of changing voice. Changing voice. So, my dear learners, write down the structure. Write down the structure. Structure of changing voice. Okay, my dear learners, you will have to write down the structure in this way. At the time of converting such kinds of statement having from active voice into passive voice, you will have to follow the structure. The structure is given below. You will have to convert voice from you will have to convert voice of both clauses of both clauses separately separately of the statement or sentence. Okay, my dear learners, of that you have understand clearly. Of course, you'll be sure at the time of making you understand so what the definition of a compound sentence. My dear learners, in a compound sentence must have two principal clauses, and at the time of converting voice from active to passive, you'll have to change voice both clauses, both principal clauses, both principal clauses. Sorry, both principal clauses. Okay, my dear learners. So there's enough. Okay, my dear learners. So my dears, let's go to give some example to clarify. So try to note instantly. Rohim did the work and I finished my homework. Okay, my dear learners. Now, my first question to you before changing from active to passive, you'll have to say what categories of sentence is this. I know that, my dear learners, you'll be able to reply my questions. The answers of this question is that, of course, it's a compound sentence. Why? Because this sentence is mixed or joined with two principal clause, two principal clause. Now my second question is what's a principal clause? I know that, my dear learners, you'll be able to reply my question. So what's a principal clause? Because you have taught various kinds of clause and definition of various kinds of clause in my previous classes. Okay, my dear learners, in my previous classes, at the time of making you understand definition of principal clause, you were told that, my dear learners, if any sentence possessed one subject and finite verb, one subject and finite verb, of course, principal clause. Of course, principal clause. In this sense, we can call this version Rohim did the work. Of course, principal clause. And another version, look at the board and try to understand. I finished my homework. Of course, this version possessed one subject and finite verb. Okay, my dear learners. So we will be sure about this statement. It's of course a compound sentence. Now we'll have to change voice from active to passive. At the time of changing voice of compound sentence, you are told that, my dear learners, you'll have to change voice of both principal clause separately. Both principal clause separately. So, my dear learners, try to convert. At first, I am trying to show you what tense of first principal clause. Here, object, the work, then try to select what categories of tense. This statement is first indefinite tense because this statement possesses a V2 form of verb. V2 form of verb. So it's this clause, of course, first indefinite tense. And according to the rules of changing voice, at the time of converting any voice of first indefinite tense, two categories of verb will be used: was, oblique, were. Okay, dear learners. So try to use was, then V3 form of verb. Next, preposition by subjective form, objective form of subject. Okay, my dear learners, already we have changed first principal clause. Okay, my dear learners, and now used at middle of the statement, and you have to use and word or middle of this statement in an unsensible situation. Unsensible situation. Now you will have to change the voice of second principal clause. Second principal clause, of course, and assertive sentence. And you have to change voice according to the rules of an assertive sentence. What's the rules of assertive sentence, my dear learners? Rules of assertive sentence is that, my dear learners, will have to subjective form of object. My homework. Of course, this statement is first indefinite tense, and to be verb was required. Was B3 form of verb, finished, then preposition by objective form of subject, then objective form of subject. Here subject I, and objective form of subject I, of course me. That's enough. Okay, my dear learners, hope that you have understood clearly. Number 2, next example. I love Katrina, but she loves Dulal. So, my dear learners, at first try to selection of what categories of clothes and then try to convert. My dear learners, I have written second example. I love Katrina. I love Katrina, but she loves Dulal. Okay, my dear learners, I hope that you have understood clearly. At first, before converting the statement, try to select how many clauses for this. This sentence has for this two principal clauses. First principal clause, I love Katerina, and second principal clause, she loves Dulan. But my dear learners, now try to solve yourself. At first, you'll have to convert phrase of first principal clause. Here, first principal clause, I love Katerina. So, my dear learners, you'll have to write down in this OM. Here, object Katerina. Of course, this version is present indefinite tense, and according to the rules of present indefinite tense, you have to write down to be verb MAJR. In this sense, in the case of Katrina, you will have to use is. Then, the form of verb loved. Then, preposition by. Then, objective form of subject. Here, subject me, and objective form of subject I, of course, me. Okay, maintenance. Hope that you have understood clearly, and try to use middle of the statement the given coordinating connection. Coordinating connection. Okay, maintenance. Hope that you have understood clearly. Now, try to convert the second principal clause. Here, the object dual and according to the rules of changing voice of present indefinite tense. In the case of subject dual, we'll have to use is. Next, with the form of verb, loved, then preposition by, then objective form of subject, here subject she, and objective form of subject she, of course, her. Of that, you have understood clearly. Okay, my dear learners, already I have given two examples to clarify, but now I want to give you another example. Okay, my dear learners, so take a look at the board and try to understand. English, oil, or you can't make a good result. Okay, my dear learners, underline or okay, my dear learners, we'll have to convert voice of both the principal clause separately. At first, I am trying to convert first principal clause. First principal clause. What categories of sentence is this first principal clause? Can you gauge, my dear learners? I know that you'll be able to reply my questions. So, my dear learners, take a look at the board and try to understand. Learn English while this portion is started with verb and finally ended with the notes of full stop. Of course, what categories of sentence, my dear learners, can you gauge? Of course, this portion is an imperative sentence. Now we'll have to use the rules of imperative sentence. Rule number one, precondition and structure of rule number one of an imperative sentence at the time of making understand various kinds of rule in my previous classes. Okay, my dear learners, according to that rule, we'll have to use that first. Let subjective form of object, then be, then V3 form of verb, then extension of this portion. Okay, my dear learners, hope that you have understood clearly. Middle of the statement, write down the given coordinating conjunction or coordinating conjunction. Okay, that's enough, my dear learners. Now try to convert second principal clause. Here, second principal clause, you can't make a good result. You can't make a good result. Now, before converting this portion active into passive, you'll have to share what categories of sentence is this. I know that, my dear learners, this portion is an adjective sentence. Adjective sentence because this statement is started with subject and finally ended with an also full stop. So we should use the rules of adjective sentence. Okay, my dear learners, and of course, you are told or you are taught the rules of adjective sentence of changing voice from active to passive. Words, try to recall or try to remind to my dear learners, words the rules of adjective sentence of changing voice. The rules of adjective sentence of changing voice was that, my dear learners, at first we have to use the subjective form of object. Here, object good result. Okay, my dear learners. Number two, stage number two, we'll have to use to be verb. This one is called as to be verb can't. Okay, my dear learners. So write down to be verb can't. Okay, my dear learners. And of course, you know that, my dear learners, at the time of making you understand various kinds of rules of as a sentence of voice. In the case of modal auxiliary, we have to use be. We have to use be. Then be to the form of third form of verb. Here, made, my dear learners. Then preposition by. Then objective form of subject. Here subject you and objective form of subject you, of course you, and extension no extension for just in the statement. Now write down the notes of full stop. Okay, my dear learners, hope that you have understood clearly. Okay, my dear learners, today's class, my dear learners, I am trying to make you understand first the definition of a compound sentence, selection of a compound sentence, and some rules, structure of changing voice of a compound sentence. Hope that you have understood clearly. Okay, my dear learners, today's class, my dear learners, today's class, I don't learn them, but before finishing today's class, I want to share something here, my dear learners. Of course, you know that, my dear learners, I am a new teacher in YouTube channel, and at the time of making various kinds of video classes, I am trying to use English conversation. So, my dear learners, at first, I want to apologize to you because, to of course, you know that, my dear learners, to error is human, and I am not out of this concept. So, my dear learners, if you notice any faults or mistakes in the midst of my video classes, please excuse me and pray to Allah, Almighty Allah, for me, so that I can serve you, enjoy through my video classes throughout my life. So, my dear viewers, Norma today come to see you again with a new regiment, a new class only for you. So, my dear learners, Norma today come to see you again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.